If you go through life looking for proof that you do not belong, you will
Yes.
find it. The idea that self-doubt has probably already cost each of us a
Yes.
whole lot, and that there's some value actually in looking back at this. Tell us more about that. What do you mean?
Yeah. When we were talking a little earlier about how we're, wired to avoid pain at all costs. And I love reframing things in a whole different way because a lot of times we have self-doubt because or we hold ourselves back because we want to avoid pain. We want to avoid putting ourselves out there and failing. We want to avoid all the things, right? We want to play it safe. We want to dim our light. We want to, not get judged, not risk someone not loving us back, all the things. And so we're doing that to avoid pain, potential pain. But when we flip this around and say, well, wait a minute, what does self-doubt already cost us in our lives? What does it cost us in our career? What does it cost us in the creation of putting our offerings out into the world? What does it cost us in every area of our life? Usually, I mean, for me, most of my life, the answer is way too much, way too much. And when we flip it and we think, what does self doubt already cost me? And then take it to the next level and say, well, what is it going to cost me if I don't change? The
Mm,
pain of that, the
that's a
pain of
that's a
that,
that's a long list and a big number.
right?
And yeah, it's a big thing.
and,
Big
and the
scary shit.
pain of yeah, scary shit. And the pain of that is actually worse than the pain of, you know what? I'm putting my art out there. It is okay if no one likes it. The pain of regret and what will it cost me if I don't change? So when we focus on that, it's not fun, but it actually can be this beautiful tool that helps us get unstuck and just make the decision to show up as who we truly are, to say what we truly mean, to do our art or our business or ideas authentic to how we feel, not just what the consensus is telling us, right? Like all of those things. So I love flipping things around that way and understanding how our minds work because I think if we don't, right? So you mentioned doing, 20 years of work and and having your definition of, they just don't know. And look at, and there's a million other reasons why you are so successful and why people come to you for your show, for your book, for everything else you're putting out in the world. It's like I really believe that saying success leaves clues. And
Mhm.
I also believe uh, it's almost never an accident when people are successful in what they do. And you mentioned Brene Brown, who's just incredible. And I talk about one thing she shared in Worthy. Actually, I talk about because there's a chapter called Circle or Cage,
Mhm.
and it goes into are the people around you a circle or a cage? And of course, there's some people that we just want to keep in our life because they're our second cousin and we were raised around them and we don't want to give up on them. But when we're around them, we dim our light, we, all the things. And I talk about how to build an inner circle, an outer circle, how to know if your circle feels more like a cage. Anyhow, one of many tools in the book, but she talks about this idea of candle blower outers and how she's taught her kids to just be aware of. And by the way, I've never met her.
Oh,
Just think she's
what?
amazing. Yeah, I
Oh
never
my
met her. I just think
gosh.
she's amazing.
Oh my gosh,
But when
she's
I read
amazing.
this, I just thought this was such a powerful example that she shared that she teaches her kids to just be aware of if people around them are candle blower outers, meaning they're trying to shine their flame brightly. And some people just don't like the light of that or can't handle it, or their energy blows out your flame, right? Or they convince you your flame is not worth shining. And I just think it was such a beautiful example because I think that's a whole nother important tool as well because energy is contagious is surrounding yourself with people. And why this came to mind, by the way, is because I think of the person listening to your show and why they're listening to your show and how it's so beautiful that for some of us our circle might be two people or it might be five people and it might be a person we've only listened to their show and never met,
Mhm.
But that is a powerful person in our circle.
Mm. I
And
love
it's
that.
just so
Yeah.
important to learn to build that also on our journey to worthiness. So